Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. Thank you for stopping by. Before we start this story, we just wanted to apologise for the audio quality. We are having technical issues with our microphone, so this might not sound quite as clear as it normally does. So we're sorry for that. We'll try and get it fixed. Now, are you ready to read? Let's get started. The silly argument. This is a beginner A2 English story. Joseph and Flora were best friends who lived in the same small village. They had known each other since they were 5 years old and did everything together. Every afternoon, they would meet at the park near their houses and play football, ride their bikes, or just talk about their day. One sunny Saturday, Joseph and Flora decided to play football. Joseph brought his new football to the park and proudly showed it to Flora. "Isn't it great?" he asked. Flora looked at the ball and nodded. "It's nice, but my football is better," she said with a smile. Joseph frowned. "No, it's not. My football is the best. It's brand new and really expensive," he said, feeling annoyed. Flora crossed her arms. "Expensive doesn't mean better. My football is bigger and easier to kick." The two friends started arguing. Joseph said Flora didn't know anything about football, and Flora said Joseph was acting like a spoilt child. Their voices got louder, and soon they weren't playing anymore. "I'm going home," Flora finally shouted, grabbing her bike. "Fine, I don't care," Joseph yelled back. Flora rode off, and Joseph sat on the park bench alone. At first, he felt angry, but then he started to feel sad. He missed talking to Flora and playing together. Was it really worth fighting over a football? He thought to himself. At the same time, Flora was sitting in her garden, feeling upset. She thought about how much fun she usually had with Joseph and how silly their argument had been. "I shouldn't have said his football wasn't good. That wasn't kind," she admitted to herself. The next day, Joseph and Flora both felt bad about the fight. Joseph decided to visit Flora's house to say sorry. He knocked on the door, and Flora came outside. "Hi, Flora," Joseph said quietly. "I'm sorry for being mean yesterday. I shouldn't have said those things." Flora smiled a little. "I'm sorry too. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Your football is really nice." Joseph held up his football. "Want to play today? We can use your ball too if you want." Flora laughed. "No, let's just play and have fun. It doesn't matter which ball we use." They both laughed and headed back to the park. When they got there, they started kicking the ball around and forgot all about their argument. As they played, Flora said, "You know, it's silly to fight over something like this. Friends are more important than footballs." Joseph nodded. "Yeah, you're right. Let's never argue about silly things again." From that day on, Joseph and Flora made a promise to always talk things out if they had a disagreement. They stayed best friends and spent many more afternoons laughing and playing together at the park. Sometimes they would even joke about the silly football argument that almost got in the way of their friendship. Now, let's go through some of the vocabulary from this beginner English story. If there are any words that we don't explain that you don't know, please comment and we will get back to you and hopefully help. Almost. Almost means nearly, but not completely. Joseph and Flora almost stopped being friends after their argument. Alone means without anyone else present, without anyone else there. Joseph sat alone on the park bench after Flora left. To frown means to make a facial expression by bringing your eyebrows together, usually showing that you are upset, you are displeased. Joseph frowned when Flora said her football was better. Angry. If you are angry, then you feel upset or annoyed. Flora became angry at Joseph. Anymore. Anymore means no longer, in the present or future, but not before. So Flora shouted that she didn't want to play with Joseph anymore. Brought is the past tense of to bring, meaning to take something to a place. Joseph brought his new football to the park. A disagreement is a situation where two or more people have different thoughts or opinions about something. The disagreement between Joseph and Flora started over football. Argument. An argument is a heated discussion where people express different or opposing, that's an advanced word, opposing views. Joseph and Flora's argument made them both upset and leave the park. Grab. To grab means to take or hold something quickly and firmly. Flora grabbed her bike and rode home. Bench. A bench is a long seat that you usually see in parks or in the countryside. Joseph sat on the bench thinking about the fight with Flora. Decided or to decide means to make a choice after thinking about it. Joseph decided to apologize to Flora. Even. Even is used to emphasize something surprising or unexpected. Flora didn't even say goodbye when she left because she was so angry. Everything is all things or every part of something. Joseph and Flora usually did everything together at the park. Finally means after a long time or after a delay. Flora finally smiled when Joseph apologized to her. Held. Held is the past tense of to hold, and it means to carry or support something. Joseph held his football, hoping Flora would want to play again. Hurt. Hurt means to cause pain or to feel upset. Flora's words hurt Joseph's feelings during their argument. If is used to introduce a condition. Joseph wondered if Flora would forgive him. Just means exactly or simply. Flora realized they just needed to apologize and move on. Spoilt. Spoilt is someone who is used to getting their own way all the time, and they usually behave badly when they don't. Flora accused Joseph of acting spoilt about his new football. Laughed. To laugh means to make a sound of amusement or joy. You laugh when you find something funny. Joseph and Flora laughed together after they made up, after they made friends again. Louder is the comparative of loud. So you have loud, louder, loudest, meaning making more noise. Their voices got louder. Matter. Matter is a topic or issue that is being talked about, that is being discussed. Flora realised the matter wasn't important. Missed. Missed means to feel sad because something or someone is not there. Joseph missed Flora after she left the park. Shouted, or to shout, means to speak in a loud voice, often when you are angry. Flora shouted at Joseph before riding her bike home. Since. Since means from a particular time in the past until now. Joseph and Flora had been friends since they were 5 years old. Spent is the past tense of to spend, and it means to use time doing something. They spent many afternoons playing together in the park. Upset. If you are upset, perhaps you feel sad, worried, or angry. Both Joseph and Flora felt upset after their argument. Usually. Usually means most of the time or in most situations. So Joseph and Flora usually got along well and never argued. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English story and the vocabulary explanations. Again, we would like to say sorry that the volume is not and the quality of the sound is not as good as usual, but our microphone has broken. So now we need to buy another one. But please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the stories. See you soon.